Kassel earlier this evening. That one's into the final stages. And then we've also got Manresa Oostend today. And then tomorrow, things are finished off with Strasbourg, the Akabalis in this group. As you can see, plenty of young fans in the stands. They're going to make some noise for their favourite players this evening. And the home team really do need to start pick up some wins soon. Here's your group standings. As you can see, Türk Telekom sit top of the group with a 4-1 record, whilst Torun currently propping the group up with a 1-win, 4-loss record. Torun really will need to start making some moves soon if they're going to change things up. We're halfway, near enough halfway through. Next week will be the halfway point of the regular season within this season's Basketball Champions League. And the groups really are starting to take some shape. And our visitors here, Türk Telekom, the reason they're sitting top of the table is they have a very, very balanced roster. Offensive threats in the front court and back court. Ability to play perimeter defense and protect the rim as well. A man we saw just before then is probably the one to watch, Carl Wiltjer. He had a huge game last week against Oostend, put up 33 points and 10 rebounds, MVP of the week. And also look out for the combination of Hunter and Beigel. They've an impressive backcourt. They've combined for over 25 points per game for Türk Telekom. As for the home team, we've seen them warming up there. They'll be disappointed that they've only picked up 1 win so far, but they have had a season plagued by injury, and this really that provided the shape for those first 5 games in the Basketball Champions League. They really have missed Damian Kulik. He picked up an injury early on, as you can see. They've only actually got 10 players listed, but their backcourt is exceptionally strong and can take them to some wins. The likes of Chris Wright, Keith Hornsby. Wright averaging over 21 points a game, Hornsby over 18 points a game. It's just what can the front court do? Do they have enough power to bring the win home for Torun? And it is a much needed win. As I say, only 1 win on their first 5 games. That won't get them through. You can see Damian Kulik there in his civvies, as it were. He'll want to see his team win some games without him. Just now waiting for the player introductions of both teams. Obviously, the away team, Türk Telekom, will be introduced first, and they may be top of the group, but that's not where their ambitions will lie. Their ambitions will lie deep into the postseason. They want to make it to the round of 16, if not further, in their first ever Basketball Champions League seasons. And they're hanging their hat on the defensive end. Conceded just 71.6 per game. In fact, only against Manresa did they concede 80+ points. However, they've also been relatively fortunate, some might say. They've only won 1 game by double digits. But fortune favours the brave in this situation, and that's what sees that team and Coach Goran's team sit top of the table in Group A in the Basketball Champions League. A win here tonight really does move them in the right direction to claiming around a 16 spot at least. Here's the home team, Torun now. And offense has never really been a problem for this team, pouring in huge numbers, over 90 points a game. The issue they have is they're nearly conceding 100 points a game, averaging 99.8 points per game that they concede. They certainly also look to get their scoring done close to the basket. They've attempted more 2-pointers than any other team in the Basketball Champions League. And on the flip of that, they've attempted less 3-pointers than any other team in the Basketball Champions League this season. So you can see what they're trying to achieve. It's not necessarily back to the basket offense for Torun, but they certainly want to get to the basket and take high percentage shots. So you see Coach Mahowski there and his coaching staff, as well as a couple of injured players in their huddle. Just a few moments away now from the start of proceedings here. Game day 6 of the Basketball Champions League. The players will shake hands prior to getting things started, and they enter their final phase of their warm-up. Türk Telekom. Wiltshire there, he's likely to have another big game for Türk Telekom. Remember, plenty of games going on around Europe this evening as part of this season's Basketball Champions League. In this group alone, there's 3 games this evening. Holon taking on Sassari, and Manresa are also taking on Ustend. That Manresa game tips off 30 minutes later than this one, and then Group A's game day 6 will be completed tomorrow when Strasbourg take on Liège in France. As I said, he had a huge game, 33 points, 10 rebounds in game day 5. Absolutely unstoppable. Here are our officials for this evening. Severio Lanzarini, Apostolos Kalpakis and Gintaras Vitkauskas from Italy, Sweden and Lithuania respectively. They'll be hoping for a quiet evening, not too many controversial calls to be made, but they'll be making sure that everything's above board on the floor as we now prepare for the opening tip-off, and the starting 5s from both teams now getting ready to go to work. Although they are at different ends of the table, still pressure on both sides. Here's your starting 5 for Türk Telekom: Hunter, Weigel, Edgay, Foul and Wiltshire. That combination of Foul and Wiltshire is absolutely phenomenal in the front court. Foul, the rim protector, and Wiltshire really able to spread the floor as well on the offensive end. That's got to be one of the strongest front court combos in the Basketball Champions League. And, Coach Goran here, he won't underestimate Torun this evening. They may be opposite ends of the table, but one thing you know about the Basketball Champions League, any team can beat any team on the night. Aaron Sell there for Polski Torun. They're going to lean heavily on him, particularly with the absence of Damian Kulik. Obviously a veteran, plenty of international experience for the Polish national team. Played for them in the World Cup this summer as well when they had an impressive run, finished up 8th in the World Cup. Here's your starting 5 for Torun. Hornsby, Sell is in there, Ratajczuk, Wright and Aminu. Plenty of talent in that as well. Hornsby and Wright, definitely going to be an impressive backcourt combination. It's just down to can Sell work hard on the defensive end, and Coach Mahowski getting his final words in. He's been dealt a tough hand, all the injuries that he's had, but he still knows that if he can get a bit of a winning streak together, they can be back in the hunt for one of those round of 16 places, and ultimately that would be a big turnaround for Torun. Moments away, and as we get ready for the opening tip here in Poland, just a reminder, the best way to stay in touch with absolutely everything to do with the Basketball Champions League is by downloading yourself the official Basketball Champions League app. It has absolutely everything on there. It has obviously all your schedules, fixtures, gives you behind-the-scenes interviews with some of the players, also the stats, and probably most importantly some of the video highlights as well. And there's been plenty of them in the opening 5 game days. You imagine that's going to repeat again here this evening. So the Basketball Champions League app is the one that you need to download. It's available on iOS and Android. So jump onto your phones now, get that one downloaded, and you will be in the know for everything to do with the Basketball Champions League. That's a must for all you Basketball Champions League fans out there.
Europejska Liga Mistrzów w koszykówce w Toruniu, w Toruniu. Zaczynamy kolejny mecz. Polski Cukier Torun kontra Türk Telekom Ankara. Dla kogo pierwsza piłka?
Here we go, the game is underway. Game day 6 here in Group A. Torun take on Türk Telekom in a top v bottom clash. Close inside to Foul. Nothing there. Is he going to go to work back to the basket? He is. Just the pure size and strength of the big man is too much for Aminu to handle, and Mustafa Foul registers on the box score straight away. Sell, little spin move, looks to use the glass, nothing there, but Aminu follows through nicely. The double team that came across to Sell freed up Aminu to go for that offensive rebound, and he tips it back in. Foul, looking to go to work inside again. They're going to have to double down on him if he keeps doing this. But Aminu shows he's up to the challenge so far. Seems a very clear intention from Türk Telekom. They're going to try and isolate Foul in the low post and let him go to work, but the shot's up early. RJ Hunter, one of the dead-eye shooters for Türk Telekom, averaging 39% from the perimeter so far this season. Taichuk now feeds Aminu. Oh, Aminu loses the handle. You can't be too unhappy with what Aminu's doing there. He's bringing Mustafa Foul out of his comfort zone, looking to choose some foot speed against him, but just doesn't quite have the handle to hold on to it. Edgy now goes inside. Wilch is going to go to work in the low post against Sell. And that's an easy two, almost a replica of that opening score from Mustafa Foul. The front court strength for Türk Telekom so far seems to be a little bit too much for Torun to handle. All right, it's no good. It's a strong rebound, but who's the ball going to end up with? Wilt just going to pull it down for Türk Telekom. Now inside to Foul. He's going to go up against Aminu again. Oh, nice cut and a nice find with the pass. Weigl there. Feeds off Foul, and just that split second, the defense loses its assignments, and it's an easy score. Sell, corner three. It's no good, and Mustafa Foul pulls down another rebound. Türk Telekom now 7-point lead. Knocked out of bounds by Sell. Türk Telekom certainly one of the hot teams in the Basketball Champions League this season. Weigl to Foul. He comes back to Edgy. Nice inside to Foul, and he throws down the hammer. And Türk Telekom are on the rampage at the moment here in Poland. Wonderful pick and roll, two-man play. And the lane just opens up. Cavernous space for Mustafa Foul to work in. Timeout already called by Coach Machowski. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Makes out of bounds, ready to help. We don't let the best shooter get a wide open shot. Come on, guys. Then we let the next guy get a layup. We're saying they're doing that every time. Right away. If they're posting us up next time, on the dribble, we go from the nail. From the nail. From the nail. From the double side. From the double side, you gotta take the first pass.
And at the moment, Türk Telekom are pulling Polski Torun apart at the seams, getting any opportunity to score on the offensive end that they want. That was the last one, as Mustafa Foul just glided to the basket for the easy one-handed flush. 9-point lead for Türk Telekom. Only just 2.5 minutes gone in the game. Hornsby now, what can he do? Averaging just shy of 19 points a game. Keith Hornsby, little step back jumper. It's an awkward one. That's a strong rebound though. Taichuk with the rebound, gets the two off the glass, and that's the kind of hustle play that you need from your team when you've struggled to get things going. Foul now. He comes back out. Weigl slides inside, and it can't be that easy for Türk Telekom to score. It's going to be an awful long night for Torun if they don't up their defensive intensity and at least have some form of rim protection. Foul's going to be called. That one's on Weigl.
Muhammad Baykul. Substitution for Team Torun.
See him reaching in. Ratajczak almost got caught with it though. Fortunate to pick up the foul. First foul of any team in the game so far. Been clean or fair. Comes out. Sell now is no good. He's off target. The rebound is chased down by Ratajczak, but it's not enough. It's gone out of bounds, and it'll be a Türk Telekom ball. 9-point lead for them. A little over 6.5 minutes left in this first quarter. What a blistering start to the game we've had from Türk Telekom on both ends of the floor. They're not a one-dimensional team, that's for sure. Hunter now to Baygul for three. Oh, and he drains the three, and the pain increases for Torun. Onsby can't get it to go. The offensive rebound is almost tapped by Dudusko, but it's won ultimately by Wiltja. Now into the low post to foul against Aminu. Comes back out, Wiltja for three. Oh, and he continues where he left off last week against Ostend. Kyle Wiltja, and that's what makes him difficult to defend. He can take you in the post, he can step out and hit the three. How do you match up against that? Oh, and a nice jumper. That's going to be important for Torun. Chris Wright nailing the long two. Still, it is a 13-point lead from Türk Telekom. They've scored 19 points in the first 4.5 minutes. Wiltja, step back for three. Oh, in and out with that one, but Mustafa Fowl gets the rebound, and one for the big man. And at the moment, there is no answer from Torun. They are being schooled by Türk Telekom. Can't connect with the extra one from the free throw line, Mustafa Fowl. All right, with another short range jumper, but he's no good this time. Wiltja now looking to go to work in the post, showing he's got game everywhere. Oh, and he certainly has, Carl Wiltja. 27-year-old big man. Showing how many offensive weapons he's got in his arsenal. Dudusko now is fouled on the jumper. That one's going to be chalked up to Hunter. Let's have a look at the replay. Caught him on the hand. There was contact. That's what the officials have called. First foul on RJ Hunter. Dudusko at the line, and sometimes when things aren't going your way, the free throw line can provide you with a bit of a lifeline, particularly in a game like this. Good shooting from the line by Bartosz Dudusko. Baygul now into Wiltja, and going back to the man with the hot hand. Going to back his way against Aaron Sell. Good defense by Sell in the end. Amino picks up the loose ball, and Wright's going to go one-on-one against Ege. Nails the two. Big play by Chris Wright. And he's been trying to do that all season for Torun in the Basketball Champions League. Draws the contact, uses that strong upper body to get the two to go. Earns himself a trip to the line as well. He's 89% from the free throw line this season in the Basketball Champions League as Edge picks up his first foul. Nails the bonus point, but Türk Telekom's lead is still 12. Again out to Baygul. Offensive foul is called, illegal screen. And things are starting to flow in favor of Torun at the moment. The play is shifting their way. Weaver now onto the floor for Torun. Aminu. Aminu will shoot the long two. Didn't look confident in his own shot. Oh, what a pass inside. It's off track from Sell, though, and it's stolen away. Hunter now. Wiltshire for another three. No joy this time. Comes out to Edgate. It's the big shot yet again. And Türk Telekom, and this is the problem you have. How do you guard them when they have so many offensive threats? Wright, long two. He hits the two, and you have a feeling Chris Wright's trying to take the team on his back. He's up to 9 points personal now. Stolen away, right out at the races against Wiltshire. No joy this time. Weaver will take the three, and now the three, and here's the comeback. Polski Torun up to 16. Türk Telekom's lead down to just 10 now. There's a replay of the defensive effort from Aminu. Hunter, long three. Oh, and there's a crowd silencer from RJ Hunter. Quick enough, the drums start out again in the arena. Pass inside to Amino, bit too much for him to handle, but they've managed to hold on to it. Pass goes now to Didusko, and he gets himself another two. He's up to 4 points. First two was from the free throw line. He's now got himself a field goal as well, and Torun certainly have a better energy about them in the last couple of minutes or so. Hunter tries to find the baseline. Didusko's footwork is quick enough. Uses a screen from Foul. Foul now inside. Oh, wonderful ball movement, and Hunter will float up with the right hand. It's too heavy. It's going to be a tied up possession there, so we'll go with the possession arrow. But what beautiful offense from Türk Telekom. Fluid ball movement, looking for that open shot. And that's what they took. The little teardrop from Hunter was off right. And Aminu gets tied up with Weigel. We're waiting for a change from Türk Telekom. I'll see Kaya come into the game for the first time. In his third season with Türk Telekom. Weaver now to Aminu. He hands it back to Didusko. Floats in, right hand, nothing there. And Türk Telekom will come away with it. Johnson now tries to find Foul. Running the lanes. The officials have said it's come off the Türk Telekom hand, so it's going to be back to Torun. You see Alexander Perka into the game for the first time for Torun. He's in his 6th season with the club. One of the familiar faces here at the Arena Torun. Knocked out to Didusko now. Looking for the pass inside. Couldn't quite find the lane down to Weaver. He'll drive the basket against Foul. And there's what Foul does. Day in, day out, Mustafa Foul with the rim protection. Kaya loses the handle, though. And it's ahead now to Aminu. He'll just drop it in softly. And Torun, thankfully for them, have had a resurgence in the last 2-3 minutes of this first quarter. Just 35 seconds left in the first quarter now. Tough shot taken by Weigel, and the rebound falls into the hands of Kyle Weaver. That's a tough shot from Hornsby. He's trying to artificially kickstart his offense. Not necessarily a smart move. Shot clock turned off. Türk Telekom will look to take the final shot now as Nick Johnson slows things down for them. Wiltshire for 3 to finish the first quarter, and he nails it with string music. Kyle Wiltshire, absolutely phenomenal first quarter from him. He's already up to double-digit scoring, 4 from 6 from the field. At the end of the first quarter, Torun 20, Türk Telekom 32. Here are your shooting stats from that first quarter. As you can say, 6 from 8 from the perimeter for Türk Telekom. Only 1 from 5 from outside for Torun, and there's one of your big differences between the teams, and really that's where the 12-point lead for the visitors Türk Telekom has stemmed from. Foul had a great start to the game and has caused problems on both ends. Great rim protector and a great back to the basket offensive threat. As for Torun, they've tried to get scores any which way they can. It's not necessarily been pretty, but points are points when you're struggling. And, without them, Torun would be at a big deficit, but another big star for Türk Telekom has been Kyle Wiltshire. There's his back to the basket game. Happy to muscle his way to the hole. As happy as he is to step out and drain the 3 as well, though. Türk Telekom have a huge number of offensive weapons that they can use against you. As we see replay after replay, that was probably the big highlight of the first quarter. Pick and roll with foul. So there's the long game from Kyle Wiltshire. Torun had a good last 2-3 minutes of that first quarter. They really did fight their way back into it. It was almost looking like a lost cause after 5 minutes. But they didn't give up. They've battled their way back in. They've scrapped their way back into this game. And now they just trade by 12. They do need to pick up their defensive intensity, though. At this rate, they're going to give Türk Telekom north of 120 points in this game, and you're going to struggle to win any game when you give up that many points. Here we go, second quarter action now. Game day 6 in Group A of the Basketball Champions League. Polski Cukier Torun against Türk Telekom. 12-point lead for the visitors, Türk Telekom, after 10 minutes. Torun into the game for the first time for Türk Telekom as well, as is Guan. Looked like he shuffled his feet, might have got away with one there. Egemen Guan. Hornsby now finds Perker. Gonna try and hand it back to Weaver. Weaver with a little shake to get open. Weaver hands it off to Perker for the 3. No good. Rebound falls into the hands of Taran, and he's fouled by Bartosz Idusko of Torun. His first foul. First team foul of the quarter for Torun as well. Trail by 14. Yeah, just reaching across. There's no way you're going to get that steal without fouling him. Türk Telekom rotating their team already, bringing in some of the bench players earlier than maybe you would have expected. Weigel now lost the ball to Hornsby. Is it going to be an unsportsmanlike? You can see the officials thinking about it. He's almost reached for that unsportsmanlike call twice when he blew the whistle. Let's have a look, see. You see the official there almost reached for it. Not sure if he called it or not. I'm not sure if we're going to go to a review on this one for the officials to look through it. Gotta love one of the features as well. You'll get it if you get the Basketball Champions League app. They call it tough calls. Each week you see some of the more contentious calls that the wonderful officials we have here have to make in the Basketball Champions League. And you know what? The app will more than happily tell you when they've made the right call, when they've made the wrong call, exactly why it's the right call, exactly why it's the wrong call. And that really does, for me, you know, help understand the officials' perspective, what they're calling, why they're trying to call it, where the difficulties happen, because ultimately these officials are dealing with it in real time, even with the help of replays. It's not easy. It has been called as an unsportsmanlike foul. That will send Keith Hornsby to the line for 2 free throws, and Torun will get possession back as well. As Beigel goes to the line after that unsportsmanlike foul. Sorry, goes to the bench after that unsportsmanlike foul. Hornsby's had a couple of big games so far in the Basketball Champions League. Game day 2, Torun's only win over Strasbourg. 28 points, 4 rebounds in that one for Keith Hornsby. 77% from the free throw line prior to this evening's game. Hits 1 from 2 in that. Much the appreciation of Coach Machowski.
W związku z niesportowym przewinieniem piłka nadal w posiadaniu drużyny toruńskiej.
And it'll be sideline possession now for Torun as well. Hornsby gets it into Weaver just about. Strong defense played by Kaya, and Perker with the long shots, no good. Gets his own rebound, my goodness me. Oh, he's thrown it away though. Scramble on the floor, and Kaya will come away with it for Türk Telekom. Johnson now floats up with the right hand, but he's way light on that one. Doesn't connect with anything. Torun grabbed the rebound. Weaver back to Perker. Off target again. Perker really struggling from the perimeter. 0 from 3 now in the game. Kaya hands it to Johnson as Türk Telekom try and find some structure on their offensive end. Try and kickstart things again. Edgar now with the 2, and that was tough. And Guan is just battling like a warrior under the boards. Edgar now goes back into Guan. He's going to go back to the basket. It's stripped away though. Oh, and Weaver's kicked it out of bounds as both him and Perker go for it. And maybe that slightly sums up Polski Torun's Champions League, Basketball Champions League season so far. But what hustle by Egemen Guan. Putting everything out there to get that rebound. The odds were stacked against him, but he still manages to pull it down. Timeout's been called by Türk Telekom. They lead by 13 points. 7:47 left in this second quarter. Let's see if we can jump into this Türk Telekom huddle and listen to Coach Doruk.
And Egemen run setting to screen Şafak, okay? And Egemen inside. But good screen here, okay? Şafak şunu al atasın.
Watch the transition defense, guys.
Interesting last comment there from Şafak Edgay. Watch the transition defense, and you do. That's one of the positives from Torun. They want to get out and run. They're averaging over 20 points per game from transition offense. That might be a way to get back into this one. It's certainly a way to take momentum over on a game. You wonder if Torun are going to focus maybe and get out and run a little bit more. Kaya now passes it to the corner. Oh, it's way off target. That's a couple of shots now for Türk Telekom. Have been nowhere near going down. Hornsby for 3. He's wide open. You can't leave him that open. He's going to make you pay. He's shooting 43% from the perimeter so far this season. Johnson now, a little hesitation. Crossover against Weaver, has to come back out. Turan will nail the 3 of his own. Cancels out Hornsby's attempt. Hornsby now looks to drive inside, and that's back-to-back baskets for Keith Hornsby. The American is warming up Torun now hands it off to Johnson. Guan's going to get called for the offensive foul. It's the right call. Overly aggressive in the screen, pushing his arms out. Let's watch here. You see, steps in, pushes his arms away. There's no way Weaver's getting around that screen. A slightly young play. 23 years old is Egemen Guan. Definitely a bright spark for the future. A few lessons to be learned yet, though. Perka hands it back to Hornsby. He's off target, and Ratajczuk almost pulls down the rebound, but can't quite hold on to it. Nick Johnson will slow things down for Türk Telekom. Just his body shake to try and create space. Goes up against Weaver. Weaver's defense is good. And it's come out off the hands of Alexander Perka. It's a spin move. Weaver stayed with him the whole way, though. You have to give Kyle Weaver respect for that one. Oh, but he's wide open, and Johnson will just step in, and that's criminal from Torun to give up those easy points. Türk Telekom's lead is at 13 now. To Weaver, he's wide open for three. Oh, and he's going to make you pay. Türk Telekom trying to double down onto Ratajczuk, trying to put some pressure on the young guard. It didn't pay off. The ball recycled out to Weaver, and he made Türk Telekom pay by hitting that big three. Edgar now floats it up. Guan can't go for the alley-oop. He does get the rebound, though, and swings it back out. Torun inside. Foul's been called. I think that one's on Ratajczuk. Wait to see. I think there was a couple of Torun players that one could have been chalked up against. Let's have a look. Yeah, he's reached around on him. Yeah, that one's going to get pinged on to Ratajczuk. He's going to head to the bench. Just his first foul, second team foul of the quarter for Torun. And Torun will be happy with the guile and the spirit they've shown here. They're within 10. Had an awful start to the game, hemorrhaging points in the opening stages. Eske tries to find it inside, but it's quickly intercepted. Floats to the basket. Foul's going to be called on Shafak Edgate. And it's the little shake. Look at that. And it literally is that simple move there from right. Just enough to create some space. Edgate picks up his second foul. All right, looks to slide inside, but it's come off his trainer, off his sneaker. It's going to be a Türk Telekom ball on the baseline. All right, has been so important, leading them in scoring, over 21 points a game. Joined Torun from Trieste in Italy in the off-season. Hunter now to Johnson. Türk Telekom so patient on the offensive end. They know something's going to happen, and oh, the foul is going to be chalked up to Perka. He's saying, you ain't going to post to me. You're not putting me on any highlight reel. Let's watch a replay. Sell steps across. There's the pass from Hunter. Perka comes across.
On the free throw line, number 7,
Uses every ounce of the body mass he has to stop Torun from throwing it down. Not the best of free throw shooters, only shooting 40% from the free throw line prior to this evening's game in the Basketball Champions League. Nails the second as well. Extends Türk Telekom's lead back out to 12. Perka now will hand it off to Chris Wright. Now for Hornsby, he'll slide his way inside. Oh, that's a beautiful block by Guan, and they're out at the races now. Johnson slowed it down as the transition defense is good from Torun. Torun going up against Sell. He's having a fadeaway, feeds inside to Guan. Oh, that's great defense by Perka, but even better offense by Guan. Weaver now comes back out to Perka. Backdoor pass to Wright. Nice pass by Perka, but the defense rotates well for Türk Telekom. to Hornsby. Shot clock down to just 5 now. Perka for 3. Nails a 3 at last. Alexander Perka. 1 from 4 from the perimeter. Türk Telekom's leads down to 11.
Substitution for Türk Telekom.
You buy enough tickets for the lottery, one of them's going to be a winner in that situation. Perka just keeps shooting the ball until one of them drops. He'll go to the bench. As we see Aminu come back in for Torun. And Edgay's been called for his 3rd foul as well. Not sure where that one was. Oh, in fact, I think it's been called on Weaver. The foul was drawn by Edgay. Hunter now comes across Weigl. Oh, and it's an easy pass to intercept for Wright. 2-on-1 break. He'll go strong to the basket. He hits the floor hard, but he still makes the 2. He looks a little shaken on the floor. Down to single digits now. Remember, Türk Telekom at one stage were up by 17 points. It's now just 9. Wonderful fight back here from Polski Cukier Torun. Johnson, corner 3. Oh, string music for Nick Johnson. Right, to Aminu, up against Guan. Guan's defense is enough, but a rebound for Aaron Selt to Wright. Floats inside, a little up and under is enough to get the 2. And this game is warming up nicely here in Arena Torun in Poland. Johnson now looking to play a 2-man game with Guan. Finds his man, and his man, Guan, throws it down with one hand. All right, uses the screen well, gets it back to Aminu, and both teams running a lovely little pick and roll, big man, little man action. Getting the shots they want. 10-point lead for Türk Telekom, 2.5 minutes left in this 2nd quarter. Johnson now has it stripped away. Hornsby's come away with it. He'll float to the basket. Reverse layup is good for Keith Hornsby. He's up to 8 points now. Had a tough start to the game, but he's starting to find some form. Wonderful slow-mo replay of the up and under reverse layup for Hornsby. And the crowd noise goes up here in the arena. Weigl to Johnson. Guan sets the screen. Weigl for 3 and nails the 3. Sorry, Johnson for 3. Guan needs to be careful. It looked like he used a lot of his arms in that screen. Weaver now. Almost loses the handle, finds Hornsby, fakes the 3, steps to the side, good ball movement, wonderful ball movement, Sell for 3. Oh, he can't get it to go. That offense deserved a bucket. We'll slow things down now as we enter the final minute and 15 seconds of action in the 2nd quarter here. Johnson trying to find just a slither of light to drive down. Now into Guan against Aminu. Gets the shot away in time. And the basket is good. Heads up play by Guan as Johnson fouls right in the transition.
Johnson, it's his 1st personal foul. Mustafa Hall and Kyle Richard.
There's the little shake. Johnson's caught with his arm in as Turan was slow to retreat. Just under a minute to go here in the 1st half, and this game certainly has delivered. What a high-scoring affair we've got. Torun 40, Türk Telekom 53. We're not at the halfway stage yet. A slow offensive start for Torun has given Türk Telekom their lead. Torun have not rolled over and died. They have shown how much fighting spirit they have in their team. It's the 2nd to go as well. Türk Telekom's lead down to 11 now, right up to 13 points. Wonderful first half for him. Johnson now. Out to Hunter, he's open for threes, off right, doesn't get the roll. Mustafa Foul comes out with a rebound, and they'll slow things down. Foul sets the screen for Johnson. Wide open, no joy though, but what a rebound by Johnson. Doesn't give up on the play, rebounds his own shot. And RJ Hunter will slow things down, shot clock down to 5. Drives to the basket, steps through, and it's just like he parts the seas as he slides to the basket for what looked like an easy 2 in the end. Wonderful play by RJ Hunter. Timeout called by Torun. Coach Machowski wants to draw something up for the final play of this first half. 15.3 seconds left on this first half clock. Let's jump into his huddle, hear what he has to say.
Go seaside. Seaside. Without the pass back. You bring it up, I don't take it out. No. Set it. You're just going across. You're going across. Go, girl. Come back. Come back. Get down. All right.
What a wonderful replay of Chris right there. He's had a great first half, 13 points, 5 from 8 from the field for him. But at the moment his team are on the wrong end of things here in Arena Torun. They trail 42-55 to Türk Telekom. Game day 6 of the Basketball Champions League here in Group A. Remember, Türk Telekom top of the group. Polski Torun bottom at the moment. One win changes everything in Basketball Champions League though. Ball inbounded to right. Has 12 seconds left to create some magic. Trying to get Hornsby open at the moment, they do. He fakes a 3, drives inside, pulls up for the elbow jumper, and it's good! What a wonderful way. That's straight off the coach's clipboard. Straight from the playbook as Hornsby pulls up at the elbow for the jumper. 1.1 seconds remaining in the first half. Coach Goran will call a timeout now for Türk Telekom. They're going to draw something up, and what does he have in the special plays book for 1.1 second? Looks like one of his assistant coaches is coming over with that book right now. He's going to make sure that they get some form of shot away. Let's listen to his timeout.
Polat and Metin. Okay. RJ, run. Only run. Kaya. Directly after setting screen. Directly get the Polat. Shoots. Okay, let's go.
And there's some of your stats from today's game. You can see big bench scoring from Türk Telekom, but that's the key for them this season so far. They have a huge amount of weapons, can hurt you across the floor. Hornsby there, he managed to get the 2 in the dying seconds, but he's left 1.1 second for Türk Telekom to do something with. Let's see what they can do. Wiltshire now, catch, he's not even going to get it away. Oh, he does now the shot, but there was 1.1 second left. You can see how frustrated Coach Goran is, but at the halftime break here in Poland, Polski Cukier Torun 44, Türk Telekom 55. Here are your stats from the first half. As you can see, impressive shooting from the perimeter from Türk Telekom. 9 from 13, 69%. Rebounding battle being won by them as well. 21 rebounds to them in the first half. Look at that. Torun actually more offensive rebounds than defensive rebounds. Terrifying to think that as a statistic. Here are your top scorers. Wright leading all scorers with 13. Hornsby with 10. Aminu with 6. That's all for Torun. For Türk Telekom, Wiltshire with 10. Johnson 8, as well as Hunter with 8. It's certainly been an interesting first half here at Arena Torun. And the visitors, Türk Telekom, to say they got out of the blocks fast is an understatement. They were dominant in the opening stages of this game, built up a very, very impressive lead in the first 5 minutes of the game. In that first quarter, they were up by 17 points at one stage. They almost caught Torun fast asleep at the start of the game. And really, that's what you have to chalk this lead, this halftime lead, down to, just that opening explosion off the back of the likes of Mustafa Fal and Kyle Wiltshire. The front court duo from Türk Telekom being very, very impressive in that first half. But Polski Cukier Torun did not go away. They did not roll over and die after that first half, after that first quarter barrage from Türk Telekom. They fought their way back into this one. In fact, they won that second quarter by a point, 24-23. That's what gives them now just an 11-point deficit to work on in the second half. Oh, how it could have been so much worse for them. For Torun, they've got 2 players in double digits. Chris Wright leading all scorers, 13 points and 3 assists for him. Keith Hornsby had a slow start to the game, but picked things up as things progressed. He's on 10 points now as well. For Türk Telekom, just 1 player in double digits. That's Kyle Wiltshire. He's on 10 points, 2 rebounds as well. They've got 3 players on 8 points. RJ Hunter's got 8. Egemen Guyan's got 8, as has Nick Johnson. And you also have to give a little hat tip to Mustafa Fal, 6 points, but 4 rebounds, 3 assists already for the big man. He really has been a force to be reckoned with so far in this game. Now remember, this is top v bottom. Türk Telekom at the moment have a 4-win, 1-loss record, sitting top of Group A, whilst our hosts, Torun, have a 1-win, 4-loss record, which puts them currently right at the bottom of Group A. This is game day 6 of 14 in the regular season of the Basketball Champions League. Neither one's fate is determined yet, so they know absolutely every game is critical. Or maybe more so for Torun at the moment. They know they need to get some confidence back. They've had injury problems, they've had issues, but they fought their way back into this game. They'll hope to fight their way to a win. But at the half-time here in the Arena Torun, Polski Cukier Torun 44, Türk Telekom 55. Join me shortly for all the second half action.
Widzę, że jest już śmiałek, a zatem zapraszamy już teraz w okolice stolika sędziowskiego. No słuchajcie, jest z nami Michał o wzroście rozgrywającego. No i z tego co wiem, no nie potrafi też kozłować, rzucać podobno też. No i może dziś, może to będzie ten moment, może to będzie ten mecz. Dawno nikt z połowy nie trafił. Zasady, przypomnę, dla publiczności, Michał, pamiętaj, 2 sprawy. Nie przekraczamy linii środkowej boiska, nie przekraczamy jej także po rzucie. Druga zasada, piłka całym obwodem przechodzi przez obręcz, czyli po prostu do kosza wpada. Odliczamy od 5 do 1, na 1 rzucasz, a wy dla Michała zróbcie trochę hałasu, tak żeby poczuł, że jesteście z nim. Jedziemy. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No niestety, nie tym razem, ale będzie breloczek. Michał, cieszysz się pewnie? Bardzo się cieszy, też się cieszymy. Michał jest z nami na wszystkich pojedynkach twardych pierników. No i zapraszamy na kolejne 50 000 cały czas do wzięcia.
Lewis trying to find a way through, and he does brilliantly. Couple of hesitations, and he finally got the space, and he finished left-handed. 9 points for Lewis.
Little Poverty. We just said go to the basket. Here we go. Oh, and he gets rejected. And the ball batted out of bounds. It's going to be, look at this, Mr. McAdoo.
5-second difference between shot and game clocks here. Alley-oop, slam dunk. Down big by Tony Roten. More points in the paint.
He's on one screen now. What a pass. Oh, baby. What a throwdown. And it's that big fella. And it's number 21, Kamari Murphy. Just caught it off the pick and roll. What a pass by Trevay Simpson.
And now the alley-oop. Oh, how about that from half court? And it's Foster that throws it down. Another assist for Klein. 14 points the difference. No look pass. Oh, and the dunk. Bradovich with the dunk.
Every time they attack the basket, they want to rip the ring down. Another alley. Oh, no way. He did it again. Terry is the flying man out there. He wants to rip it all down. I can't believe what we're seeing right now.
Thompson rolling to the ring. Here he is now. Spins, goes along the baseline, throws it down. Well, he had the #1 play last week, and that might be in the top 10 once again. Siobhan Thompson, the reverse over Mustafa Fowl. Huertas. Oh, they find Salim wide open. The flare is good. What execution from Tenerife. Big time shot from Sasu Salim.
Extra pass, Saros puts it on the floor, goes strong, oh! Put an exclamation mark under that performance. But watch this, highlight time. Saros has been unbelievably good.
Polskiego Cukru Torun są miasto Torun i krajowa spółka cukrowa, właścicielami Polski Cukier.
Welcome back to game day 6 action between Polski Cukier Torun and Türk Telekom here in Group A of the Basketball Champions League. And what an opening 20 minutes we have had. The points have poured in from both teams at the half-time break. Torun trail this one 44-55 to Türk Telekom. And an absolute blistering start to the game from Türk Telekom really set the scene for us here in Arena Torun in Poland. As we see the players getting their final preparations prior to the start of the second half, and if it wasn't for that blistering opening phase of play for Türk Telekom, they might not have this 11-point lead at the half-time break. And you have to really give a hat tip for the team offense ethos of Türk Telekom. Only one player in double digits, 3 players on 8 points. Carl Wiltshires leading things with 10. RJ Hunter, Egeman Guan, and Nick Johnson all have 8. As for the home team, their scoring is led by Chris Wright. He's got 13 points, 3 assists as well. And Keith Hornsby, after a slow start, has started warming up. He's up to 10 points. But we have the scene perfectly set for another big 20 minutes of European basketball action. The Basketball Champions League never fails to deliver. I have a feeling this game could go down to the wire. Group A game earlier this evening, Sassari came away on the road with a 2-point win over Holon. That's a big win for them. That puts them to 5 wins, 1 loss now. They go ahead of Türk Telekom until we see the result from the game here. A battle for top spot between Türk Telekom and Dinamo Sassari. Here we go, second half action underway between Torun and Türk Telekom. Game day 6, Group A of the Basketball Champions League. At the half-time break, Türk Telekom lead by 11. As we see that first shot attempt from Wright ring out, and foul scoops up another rebound for Türk Telekom. Wiltshire now inside, strong move, but the defense was just as strong, enough to put him off balance. Right now with a crossover, almost gets past Wiltshire to Sell. Got the mismatch against Johnson from Aminu. Aminu gets the 2 to go. Exactly the start Torun would have wanted. They had a very slow start offensively in the first half. It'll be a relief for Coach Mahovsky that they've got things underway slightly quicker in the second, as we see Alada Aminu trying to intercept the ball there. Weigl just slides to the basket, doesn't get the easy score, and fouls. Tip back is no good this time. Hornsby now inside to Aminu against Wiltshire. Going to go to work against him, but comes back out to Hornsby. Pulls a trigger on a corner jumper is no good, and he does have a really quick release. Keith Hornsby means he can get shots away in situations others can't. Not on target that time though. Stolen away by Sell, looks to save it, can only bat it out of bounds though. And the Torun defense has come out with an intensity we didn't see in that first half. You know, they shipped 55 points in that first half. They've almost been conceding 100 points a game so far in the Basketball Champions League. If they can find some defensive tenacity, maybe some wins will follow. Hunter now out to foul. He's trying to hand it off to Johnson, but Wright's defense is strong. Johnson steps in and nails that mid-range too. Takes himself to double digits. 10 points for Nick Johnson. Second Türk Telekom player to get to double digits. Now to Aminu. Aminu inside, and he's blocked by Mustafa Fowl. Back out to RJ Hunter now. He's going to use the screen from Fowl to Wiltshire, inside to Fowl, and Fowl is just muscling his way to the basket, and Aminu is being almost thrown around like a ragdoll. Way too much power from Mustafa Fowl for Aminu to handle. Just look at this sheer strength. You see he gets that foot placement perfectly inside of the restricted area, holds on to that pivot, and Aminu is left with nothing but the foul. They're going to have a replay of this. I think they're going to look to see whether it's going to be classed as an unsportsmanlike foul or not. I think that's what we're going to review for. There's the feed pass from Wiltshire. And it's whether there's a play at the ball or not. He's played for the ball there. Played for the ball on the right hand. Maybe not that left hand though. Holding on to the arm. We'll wait to see what the officials call on this one. Unsportsmanlike foul has been called on Alada Aminu. That means that Mustafa Fowl will go to the line for 2 shots, and Türk Telekom will get possession as well. You can see the frustration from Coach Mahovsky. This is the great thing from the officials. He's explaining the situation. He's saying he didn't play at the ball. He's not trying to steal the ball. He's just pulling the player down. Mustafa Fowl misses the first of his 2. Not a bad free throw shooter, the big man. Comes to Türk Telekom with quite a reputation. Obviously part of the French roster that helped the national team qualify for the World Cup. Didn't feature at the World Cup, where they came away with bronze, but featured in 8 of their World Cup qualification games. As he goes up now, can't get the 2, too heavy-handed. But that's come off the shoulder of Aminu, so it's going to stay in possession of Türk Telekom. 7 seconds on the shot clock. And there's the pass inside to Johnson, and he gets the 2. What a play by Nick Johnson. He's fouled by Wright. He gets the quick step round the screen. There's the foul, but look at this play. Wow, that's a heads-up play by Nick Johnson. He knew he'd drawn the foul. Other players that have just accepted the free throws, not Johnson. He finishes the playoff and extends Türk Telekom's lead out to 15 now. All right, now, quick first step, blast to the basket, rejected by Mustafa Fowl. Hunter, Weigl slows it down. Hunter inside, Fowl with the 2-handed jam. And that's going to extend the lead further, up to a 17-point lead. That's a game-high lead for Türk Telekom. That matches the lead they had in that first quarter, as we see the defensive effort from Mustafa Fowl. Times his rejection perfectly, but when you've got a wingspan like that, that's tough to shoot over. Let's jump into this Torun timeout with Coach Mahowski.
Whoever's coming around, ask for the ball, go for the layup, space, then make a move. Great. Most likely if they're trapped, you got the Amino coming from the free throw, right? Hey. Don't look at the scoreboard. Let's make sure they don't hurt us inside so much. Ball pressure, run back, make it go 1-5. Let's go.
Torun will be unhappy with what's happened in the opening nearly 3 minutes of this second half. They've let Türk Telekom come out to an 8-2 run to start the second half. They'll need to get some scoring done, tighten up their defense again. That's where they're hemorrhaging points at the moment. That's where the lead's going. Aaron Sell now trying to back his way in. Goes on the reverse pivot with the left hand. It's no good though, and that's a nice pass by Hunter to Johnson. Johnson's off target though, and the ball will fall to Hornsby. He's going to put the Jets on. But good transition defense by Wilt just slows it down. Sell for three. And that's an air ball from Aaron Sell. Not what you'd expect. Shooting 56% from the perimeter prior to this evening's game, Aaron Sell, and even the experienced head of Sell starting to struggle under the pressure. As we see Perker come back into the game for Torun. Wiltshire, step back three, nails it. Oh, Wiltshire now, he's up to 13. Ties things up with Nick Johnson as the game's leading scorer. Wright is fouled by Wiltshire. Torun is asking for an unsportsmanlike foul. Let's have a look as he puts Weigel on his backside. Wiltshire needs to be careful. I'm not sure he did play at the ball very much then. Now to Hornsby, catch and shoot. He's fouled, so we'll go to the line for 2 shots. That one's going to get chalked up to Mohamed Weigel for Türk Telekom. Hornsby could be the key. And to get back into it, joined Torun in the summer after playing in the G League. Played for the Texas Legends last season, 3-time G League All-Star. Keith Hornsby, and he's had some good games in the Basketball Champions League. Dropped 20 points on Holon, 28 on Strasbourg. Certainly has the ability to score, but at the moment that's not necessarily the problem for Torun. It's on the defensive end. They need to lock things down. They've shipped 66 points in the opening 24 minutes of this one. Back at the line for the second of his shots. Connects with both free throw attempts.
Substitution for Torun, on the floor.
Johnson now. Türk Telekom, one impressive game Nick Johnson has had so far. Foul is going to be called on Ratajczuk. Claiming he was being held or hooked out the way. That's his second foul. Third team foul of the quarter for Torun. Let's have a look. The foul was committed a lot earlier than he was hooked out the way. Quick first step was enough to get the space open. Hunter now. Skips it back out to Wiltshire. Wiltshire for three! Too heavy-handed with that one. Weaver now for Torun. Things seem to go a little bit more in favour of Torun when Weaver was on the floor. He has a plus-minus of 6, Kyle Weaver. It certainly went better for them while he was on the court. 18-point lead now for Türk Telekom. Is there anything left in the gas tank for Torun? Have they got another comeback available? Good defense by Aminu. Going to stay into the hands of Türk Telekom though. Smart move by Weigl. So tempted to catch the ball, but he was standing out of bounds. If he'd caught it, it would have been a Torun ball. Johnson inbounds it long to Weigl. He'll go up against Ratajczuk again. Steps his way inside. Good defense by Ratajczuk, but even better offense by Mohamed Weigl. Weaving out. Uses the Perka screen. Ratajczuk glides inside. Oh, lovely no-look pass from Ratajczuk to Perka. Oh, spin move is glorious by Weigl. Sends Ratajczuk to the floor with the quick footwork. But he's fouled as he makes his way to the basket. Let's have a look. Here's the spin. Look how quick that is. Wow, beautiful play. Foul's going to be called, and third foul on Ratajczuk. 2 fouls in quick succession for the young man. Almost stolen away, but it's into the hands of foul. RJ Hunter for 3. Off target. Long outlet pass by Weaver. Straight into the hands of Aminu for the 2. Johnson drives the baseline, tries to feed it back. It's fortunate falling into the hands of Wiltshire. Mustafa foul is tied up by Weaver. That's a great play by Carl Weaver, and this is why you teach big men not to bring the ball down. We watch it here. If he'd stayed with the ball high instead of bringing it down, Weaver wouldn't have been able to get hold of it. He brought it down, and Weaver pounced and locked the ball up. Hunter steps to the left, long jumper is good. And RJ Hunter is one of those players that just gets the job done almost in an unnoticed fashion. He's up to 11 points personal now. Tedesco is no good. Hunter again with the ball at the top. And things are just opening up for him. The foul's going to be called. It's on the floor. I think that one's going to get called on Tedesco. He was caught between a rock and a hard place guarding Mustafa Foul. Stops him rolling to the basket, just hooks his arm around him. Second foul for Bartosz Tedesco. Mustafa Foul will go to the line for 2 shots. And Türk Telekom from Lokomotiv Kuban in the summer. And he really has been a big part of the success they've had so far this season. Offensively, he's tough to guard, and defensively, he's one of the best rim protectors in the Basketball Champions League, if not the best. A dominant force on both ends of the floor, Mustafa Foul. He's up to 11 points personal now. As we see the young protege, Egemen Guan, come back into the game, just 23 years old. Hornsby into Aminu. Aminu, little fade away. No good, and it's knocked off the ring by Turan. Good defense by Türk Telekom again, and their lead is out to 21 points. Game high 21-point lead for Türk Telekom. I'm sure Coach Goran would love them to put a nail in the coffin of this one as early as possible. Guan, soft right hand, and this is the problem that Torun have had. They've let big men establish way too close to the basket. And when you let big guys that are talented establish a pivot foot deep in the paint, it's really only going to end one way. Edging out. Little no-look pass around the corner to Guan is knocked away, though.
Substitution for Team Torun, Chris Bryant.
We see Chris Wright come back into the game for Keith Hornsby, for Torun. Nick Johnson now looking to back his way against Weaver. And Nick Johnson really has come to play. Weaver now to Perker. Perker drives inside, nothing there, and throws it away. RJ Hunter will get out at the races. Easy one-hand drop in for RJ Hunter. I have a feeling he had something maybe a little bit more elaborate planned. As he steps out. Just easy flush for him. He's up to 13 points now as we see the ball go inside to Dudusko. He's rejected by RJ Hunter, and Hunter is literally all over the box score at the moment, chalking numbers up in every column. Taskarin into the game now for Türk Telekom. This is his first action. Knocked away. It's going to stay into the hands of Torun, though. RJ Hunter starting to look a little bit tired out there. Wouldn't be surprised if they rotate him out shortly, give him that long break, give him a minute or so rest in this third quarter, and the in-between quarter break as well, as Johnson's going to get called for the foul. Weaver with that quick step to the left was enough to disrupt the defense. Just is down to that quick first step. And also stepping with his right foot as well, stepping across the defender so your body's protecting the ball. Tajczuk comes back into the game for Aminu. Perkin out. Torun hands it off to Wright. Wright's got the mismatch he wants against Guan. He goes in amongst the trees and scores. Up to 15 points, 60%. That's a good efficiency from Chris Wright this evening. Taskarin now, his first action in the Basketball Champions League. Back to Hunter. Hunter looking for options in front of him. Nothing there at the moment. And Guan's working hard against Perker to get some establishment. Gets the ball in the low post eventually. Looking to back his way in. Skip pass. Taskarin can't get it away in time. Much better defense there from Torun. You just hope it's not too little too late for them. Chris Wright now. Oh, one from behind the back against Taskarin there. Blast to the basket again, but this time Guan's defense is strong enough to at least put the shot off, not directly block it. He affected it. Hunter, corner pass. Taskarin steps out of bounds. Has two turnovers for Taskarin. Didn't get the shot away in time. Now he steps out of bounds. Kondraciuk is going to come into the game for Chris Wright. Jakub Kondraciuk. Weaver now. Tajczuk hands it off to Dudusko. And a nice follow by Perker. And the two is good for him off the glass. About a 3-second differential between the third quarter clock and the shot clock. Torun will get the ball back for one final shot. Johnson loses the handle. Weaver steals it away. One-on-one with Guan. Lays it in off the glass. Kyle Weaver. Been impressive. They'll get the shot away. It's no good. Taskarin. And at the end of the third quarter here at Arena Torun, Polski Cukier Torun 58, Türk Telekom 79. Here's your shooting stats, and look at that shooting percentage from the perimeter from Türk Telekom, 61%, 11 from 18 from the perimeter is some phenomenal shooting percentages, and that's really what has put Torun on the back foot. They've been unable to defend that perimeter, and that's opened up the interior for plays like that as well from Mustafa Fal. But you have to give credit across the board for Türk Telekom. We now have 5 players in double digits. Guan with 10, Hunter 13, Johnson with 15, Mustafa Fal has 11, and Kyle Wiltshire has 13. Fal on a double-double as well, 11 points, 10 rebounds for him. Whilst Torun have got 3 players on double digits. Chris Wright's leading them with 15. Hornsby has 12. And Minu has 10 points as well as 6 rebounds. But that perimeter shooting from Türk Telekom is absolutely lights out this evening. That's what gives them the impressive 21-point lead here. The lead has been as big as 27 at one stage. Is this a bridge too far for Torun to battle their way back into this? The form book prior to the game suggested that Türk Telekom should come away with a high-scoring win. It seems to be going the way of the form book at the moment, but Torun have 10 more minutes to turn things upside down on their heads and pick up what would be just their second win of this season's Basketball Champions League. Here we go, 10 more minutes to play here. Game day 6, Group A of the Basketball Champions League. Torun trail this one 58-79 to Türk Telekom. Perka, Ratajczuk floats inside, strong upper body move from Ratajczuk. It's not enough though. Hunter tries to bat it off him, but it's back into the hands of Torun. Weaver, crossover, step back. Short with the jumper though, and Turan will grab the rebound for Türk Telekom. Okay, with the ball now. Back to Hunter. And you could tell that one wasn't going to go. As soon as he released it off balance, and the back of the iron spits it away. Perka misses the 3, looks to chase down his own rebound, but Hunter will grab it, an outlet to Guan. And the foul's going to be called on Weaver. Weaver played some tough transition D, but he wasn't going to be able to defend the low post against Guan. And that's great footwork by the young big man, being able to stop that quickly to make himself relevant on the floor, stay in play. That's Weaver's second foul, just the first foul of the final quarter though for Torun. Guan nails the first of his 2. Plenty of international experience at a junior level for Egemen Guan. Won gold at under 16 level in the European Championships back in 2012. Also won under 18 gold in Europeans back in 13 and 2014 when he was MVP of that tournament as well. One of the hot prospects here for Türk Telekom. Weaver now. Slides inside, comes up against the brick wall that is Turan and hits the deck hard. Turan inside to Guan. Back out to the corner now. Ashkarin. Oh, step back, lovely crossover, drains the 2 as well. Ashkarin gets his first points. Weaver for 3. Oh, it's an ugly looking shot and he can't get it to go. And the wheels are falling off. The Polski Cukier Torun bus at the moment. Hunter, Guan floats inside, and things don't get much easier than that for the big man. He's up to 14 points. Perfect night from the field for him. Dusko now featured. I guess it's stolen away, in fact. Turan ambles his way up. Oh, and the follow by Guan is with authority. That takes him to 7 from 7 from the field. Timeout has been called, and self-respect and pride on the line more than anything else now, as Terran just ambles his way to the basket, and the follow dunk is thunderous from Egemen Guan. Timeout called here by Torun. Let's jump into Coach Mahowski's huddle and see what he has to say to his team.
Right away into the pin down action. Right away into the pin down action. Alex is going to set it. You're going to count. You're going to come up. Looking for the shot. If you don't like it, one more dribble handoff with Kyle. Alex is coming again. Space the floor. But we need to get these balls. We need to be able to at least play through. Make passes from A to B. Be able enough to turn the ball over now. Come on, let's go. Play it at home here. Come on.
A certain amount of this now for the home team. Torun is playing for pride. 29-point lead for Türk Telekom. They've been dominant once again. And Torun try and spark something. They might not come away with the win here this evening, but can they spark something to give them some hope going into game day 7 next week? Hornsby hands it back. It's almost stolen away from Perka. Said it's inside. Soft right hand is a little bit too heavy from Didusko. And the rebound falls into the hands of Kaya. Terran now. Back to Edgi. Guyan, he's going to go to work against Perka, and that's good help defense by Didusko. Quick jump across there into the double team. And the key is how quickly he jumped across. You have to move quickly, otherwise you're giving that option for the big man to pass out and cause the mismatch. Pass inside to Terran. Edgi off target, and Perka mistimes his jump slightly for the rebound, but still comes down with the ball, and that's the important thing with Torun so far. Hornsby now. Comes past the screen, little crossover. Gets it back. Pulls the trigger on a 3. And he really hasn't had an evening to remember. Keith Hornsby just 4 from 11. He does have 12 points, but not in an efficient manner. Fadeaway shot is no good. Hornsby puts the Jets on, gets out in transition. And the 2 is good to go for Kondrachuk. Young man getting some experience on the floor of the Basketball Champions League. Edgar now. Inside to Guan, he can't hold on to it, and more transition offense now. But no good this time, and if anything, Hornsby would have been better off going to the basket himself. Kaya is off target, and the game's become a little scrappy. Kondrachuk passes it. Didusko has it stripped away. And that's back-to-back transition baskets for Didusko that he hasn't got to go. Expect a player of his caliber to convert on the transition. The pass is good. Needs to protect the ball more, go up sideways slightly. Can't show the ball to defender like that. It's going to get it stripped away. Aminu's come back in for Didusko. Kondrachuk at the top. Swung away by Guan. He's going to feed the fast break. And it's stolen back by Hornsby. Aminu can't get the and-one play, but he does pick the foul up from Egemen Guan. So Aminu will head to the line for 2 shots. Torun, they're not giving up, and that you have to give a huge amount of credit to Coach Machovski. They've had injury problems this season. We talked about it before the game. Obviously, Damian Kulik's only played in their opening 2 games of the Basketball Champions League, missed the last 3. I don't think it's any surprise that they haven't won any of those last 3 games without a player of the caliber of Kulik. But his team haven't given up. They've fought in every game all the way to the final buzzer, and they're doing the same again here today. Hornsby, he's fouled on his way to the basket. Efe Beyshok is going to get called for the foul there. It's that little hesitation that buys him the lane. Oh no, sorry, is it Guan or Beyshok? Connects with the first, Hornsby. He's up to 13 points. Hornsby's one of those players that you know he's going to give you everything he's got. He knows he's on the floor to score the ball. That's his main role in this team. And he's going to give everything he can to get the points on the board for his team. But again, this evening, it looks like it might not be enough. Beyshok, Guan, good ball movement here. Tashkarin inside to Guan. Guan going to work against Aminu again. And you do have to say for Torun that they lack a strong big. Now into the hands of Kronjachuk. His 3 is off, and Aminu chases it down. And Torun do lack that rim protection, that classic big. Whereas you look at Türk Telekom, they pretty much have 3 of them in Guan, Wiltjer, and Foul. The lane is no good for Perka. He probably is the one that fits into the mold of the classic big, but he's probably more a 4-man than he is a 5. Alexander Perka. Edgate can't get it to drop, and Aminu will pull the rebound down. That was good defense there by Hornsby. Hornsby collects what was a difficult pass. Comes to the jump stop, explodes to the basket, and gets himself the 2. And Hornsby knows what's happening. He knows his team needs to get out and run. They need to spark something, even if it's not for this game, just to get some confidence going in the roster. Rebound falls to Aminu. And Torun are really working hard here in the closing quarter. Perka, corner 3. Off target. Tashkirin with the rebound. Edgay now will slow it down, and that's a wise move by him. Things are getting a little bit out of hand, a little bit run and gun, and that's not going to suit Türk Telekom right now. Shot clock down to 6 as Edgay receives the ball from Guan. He'll pull the trigger on a 3 and nails it. Sweet string music for Edgay. A good transition again, though. And Keith Hornsby drains another 2. He's up to 18 points, leads all scorers in this game, and he's taken on his shoulders to put some impetus into the offense for Torun. So much so, he's forced Coach Golan into calling a timeout for Türk Telekom. I'm sure he's not happy with what he's seeing. And let's jump into his huddle, see what he wants to say to his team.
Çıkarıyorsak onu bir tane ekstra rebound almaya çalış, bir tane şut sokmaya çalış, bir tane beğen etmeye çalış. Böyle gidiyorsun, hani bir şey katkı olsun yani. Beyler geri koşalım, let's go, biraz geri koşalım.
Straightforward timeout from Coach Goran there. They come back onto the floor while the cheerleaders are still dancing. Coach Machovski wants to use the full timeout, make sure he gets his message across to his team. A little over 3 minutes left to play here at Arena Torun. And it has been school in session from Türk Telekom. They've dominated this game from the opening tip. They came out of the blocks really fast, too much for Torun to handle. They opened up a 17-point lead in that first quarter. And they've really just held Torun at arm's length throughout the rest of this game. Torun, to their credit, have worked hard to fight back into it, but they still trail by 23 at the moment. Paya is no good from range. Rebound for Kondrachuk. Weaving out for Torun into Aminu. To Hornsby, little shake, little fake, steps across. The jumper's no good from Hornsby though, but it's bounced out of bounds as we see both Bayshuk and Bayrak battle for the rebound for Türk Telekom. And as a coach, you don't get too frustrated. You'd rather two players were fighting the rebound than no one. A little bit more communication from them two would be good. Both 22 years old, part of the future of the Türk Telekom club. Weigl off target with the three. We've kind of fallen into a slightly walking pace game here as we get close to the last 2 minutes of action in game day 6. As I said, part of Group A. Hornsby with a tough shot, looks at the officials as he wants a foul, but nothing called. Early this evening, Sassari pulled up the upset on the road against Bolon. Sassari walked away with a 2-point win, and there's the big three from outside. Weigl drains the triple. You see the smile on his face and the little celebration to his bench. Weaver chased that one out hard. That didn't even touch the paint of the ironwork. As we see Ratajczuk come back into the action. Weaver now with the long pass into the low post. Aminu's going to go to work. That's good defense by Bayrak, forcing Aminu to take an awkward fading shot. Tayen out inside, hands it off, and the little soft touch doesn't work for Türk Telekom. Oh, and the little one-handed hammer is nice from Alexander Perka. You can feel a bit of frustration taken out on the rim by Perka with this one. Heavy-handed there by Bayrak. Sorry, by Bayshuk that was. And it's tipped in by Aminu. Final minute of this one now. 22-point lead for Türk Telekom. Another job done on the road for Türk Telekom here. Group A of the Basketball Champions League. So we're going to see out the final few seconds with Ratajczuk. Gets the two. And once again, though, Torun will have given up almost 100 points. They're averaging 99.8 points per game that they're conceding. Tashkarin is fouled as he's double teamed. Not sure if that one's going to get penciled against Kyle Weaver for Torun. 20-point lead now for Türk Telekom. He shrugs his shoulders, smiled to the official. In fact, it was Kondratyuk penciled for that one for his first. Long two. It's no good, but the rebound picked up, down by Bayrak. He gets a two. This will be the final play of the game here in Arena Torun in Poland. Game day 6, Group A of the Basketball Champions League, and Türk Telekom have done the job on the road. They were expected, they're in the informed team. They're top of the Group A going into the game. And that's all we have here for you. An impressive performance from Türk Telekom on the road. They beat Polski Cukier Torun 73-95. Job done in game day 6 for Türk Telekom. We were expecting a high-scoring game here this evening. You've got a team that has a huge amount of offensive threats in Türk Telekom and a huge amount of defensive frailties, particularly in the front court for Torun. And those two have combined to give us a very high scoring affair indeed. 95 points for Türk Telekom, 73 for Torun. And remember, this is game day 6. So Türk Telekom will stay top of Group A. They move to a 5-1 record. And as for Polski Cukier Torun, they'll stay on the bottom of the group. 1 win, 5 losses now for them. And their chances of progression to the round of 16 are looking slimmer and slimmer and slimmer as time goes by. As we see Torun make their way to the dressing rooms, which will be another uncomfortable debrief after what was a tough game here on their home floor. There are some of the stats from the game. As you can see, Türk Telekom winning the offensive rebounding battle. Sorry, winning the rebounding battle overall. Here are your top scorers. Hornsby led all scorers with 18, but for Türk Telekom, Guan, a young big man, had 16. Nick Johnson, 15. RJ Hunter had 13. Torun also had some good scorers, right, with 15 there as well, and Aminu with 13. But it wasn't to be for the home team. They go away with a loss here this evening. And back to the drawing board for the home team. And you have to give a lot of respect for Türk Telekom. It's down to the away team to come in and try and impose yourself on the road in European action. That's exactly what they did from the opening tip. They got out to a blistering start in that first quarter, driving their way out to a 17-point lead in that first period. You do have to give a credit, though, to Torun. They fought as hard as they could. They won the second quarter by a point. But then we saw Türk Telekom just come out and decimate them in the third quarter. Türk Telekom won that third quarter by 10 points. And then it really was a formality in the final period. And Türk Telekom sealed out that 95-73 win on the road. Plenty of highlight plays. And Türk Telekom ended up with 5 players in double digits. Mustafa Fal had himself a double-double, 11 points, 10 rebounds. Kyle Wiltshire had 13 points. RJ Hunter had 13 points. Nick Johnson chipped in with 15. Egemen Guan was their leading scorer with 16. We also have to give a little hat tip there to Terran. He ended up 5 points but grabbed 10 rebounds as well. A real team performance from Türk Telekom. As for the home team, Polski Cukier Torun ended up with just 3 players in double digits. Aladi Aminu, he registered himself a double-double, 13 points, 11 rebounds. Chris Wright had 15 points, 4 assists. And Keith Hornsby had 18 points and 4 steals as well. But it wasn't enough. Weaknesses of Torun were shown again. And that's the difficulty you have when you're playing at this level. Both these teams now will look forward to game day 7. For Torun, that's a huge game. They'll travel to Ostend to play them next Tuesday. As for Türk Telekom, another big game for them as well. These Basketball Champions League games just keep rolling in. Game day 7 for Türk Telekom is a home tie against Strasbourg. That's next Wednesday. Sorry, Wednesday the 4th of December, in fact. Next week is obviously a rest week for the Basketball Champions League. So the Ostend game is Tuesday the 3rd of December. Other games going on this evening. Half hour behind our game here is Manresa Ostend. There are your standings. As you can see, Türk Telekom return to the top of the table. Polski Torun at the moment in 7th, likely to drop to 8th. But what a game we've had here. An Arena Torun. Game day 6, Group A of the Basketball Champions League. Polski Cukier Torun 73, Türk Telekom 95. The away team with a huge, dominant performance on the road. That pushes them back to the top of the table, whilst Torun are left searching for that second win. Thanks for joining me here. I hope you'll join me again soon for the Basketball Champions League.